Shift unavailability right now. The moment we come in contact with unavailability by an image, by a thought, by an emotion, feeling, sensation, we always have two options right here, right now. Option number one is to actually judge it and not want it and therefore get stuck on it, or numb to it, bypass it, not want to have anything to do with it. Those two scenarios actually get us stuck to the same place, to unavailability within ourselves and others. There's actually a third choice. The third choice is to actually detect whether we're on this spectrum or the other, whether we are actually not wanting what's happening and want to change the outer world, or we're not wanting what's happening and we want to actually remove the outer world. So the removal of the outer world and the numbing to it is for the runners, dismissive avoidance and fearful avoidance. And the wanting to change the outer world is for the anxious, fearful avoidance on the anxious side, and chasers. So these techniques and tactics will never ever work for either attachment style. It will never work. Because the whole purpose of what is happening right here is actually to grow and heal through what it is that we're experiencing and to become the very person we're looking for. I know you already knew that last part, but I mean, we have to repeat it. We need to become the relationship we're looking for. So my question to you is, how do you deal with unavailability with others, and how do you deal with unavailability within yourself? Because whether you're a runner, chaser, anxious, attached, fearful, or dismissive attached, there's parts of you that you're certainly unavailable to. There's nothing wrong with it, because if we make it wrong, we're going to get stuck there. And if we're wanting the outer world to change, again, we're going to get stuck there. But if we make it right, if we make what's happening right, and we come back into the body to feel what's happening through whatever it is we're seeing and experiencing or observing, we just bring back whatever is needing love within our body. That's the only way, whatever content we're actually reading and, getting stuck on, we're actually making it powerful and meaningful. So even this video that you're listening to right now, if you're actually going back into your body and feeling what it is I'm saying, by actually bringing up an image that is triggering and creates that unavailability that, that you're experiencing, and you're so wanting a real relationship, a fulfilling one, not a just boring one where you feel like, there's no point to, or that's the only option, because if you don't have this relationship, there is no other. You don't want those relationships. And you don't also want to be alone just because you're afraid of closeness and relationships. But if you are suffering from an unavailability within you or from others, trust me when I say this, we all have unavailability within ourselves, and we're all mirroring it back in such beautiful ways. So it gets a bit interesting and confusing, and we have to actually decode and look for it. But at the end of the day, if you detect unavailability within yourself when you're dismissing or invalidating some emotions, that's unavailability. When you're wanting the outer world to change, you're being unavailable to yourself in that moment, because in that moment you're needing something that you're not giving yourself. That's why you're trying to control the outer world. And when you're wanting the outer world to not exist when it does, and you're numbing to it because it's too painful, again, you're becoming unavailable to yourself, and maybe you're actually lying to yourself and saying that you don't need anyone. But at the end of the day, you're just not dealing with the unavailability within yourself. Once you do, you will see that it's going to be a lot easier, and this is for the runners and dismissive and fearful avoidance. So once you deal with the unavailability within yourself, that numbing and the distracting and that part of you that doesn't want relationships, once you start being there for your inner child and healing through it, you will see that you will experience such fulfilling and beautiful relationships. And for the chasers, anxious attached and fearful avoidance on the anxious spectrum, once you start, instead of wanting the outer world to change, wanting that specific person, twin flame, specific other, significant other to change and become that person you want, instead of actually getting stuck on the outer world and wanting to control it, either by telling them what to do or by wanting them, willing them to do it, it's not going to change anything. But what you can do right now is every time you get to that place, get to those places that I just described, and you bring your focus back into your body through the felt sensations and you fill up that void, you actually are dealing with your unavailability and healing it yourself. So unavailability is not only in the runner's dismissive and fearful avoidance on the avoidance side, it's within us all. And I would love to talk about all these insecure attachment styles and actually bridge them and show all of us that we all have so many things in common. And that way we could actually heal through our wounds of differences and see how the same we really are, and actually appreciate by being the same that we're also different in many moments, because we're not always thinking the same and actually approaching what hurts in the same way. But there is no one way. It's whatever way resonates for you. Now, if you love this content and it resonates with you, please share, like, subscribe, follow me on social media. And if you want more specific content, please comment below whatever it is you want. I love to create content for you. And also, I'm preparing, because I do have a free course right now that I will make available soon. It's actually visiting your worst nightmare. It's generic, but it's going to help you actually learn and shift your survival mindset into the growth mindset, so that you can actually experience shifts in your life right now. Now, that's the free gift, which is very general. Now, also, I'm preparing at the moment very specific courses, which I call games, because my method is gamified, and I find it very interesting because I believe I was a teacher for many years when I was younger, and my students they grew exponentially. They would speak the language within 3 months of teaching them because it was gamified. And I believe that anything, even spirituality, even healing trauma, needs to be gamified so it could keep us engaged into actually going through the process.